Hi, thank you for joining me for today's process video. And today is day 9 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life, series 17. And today's sketch you can see in the top left hand corner there is by Jennifer Gagne. She's Kay's mum on YouTube, I believe. I'll leave her link in the description box down below. So I've taken inspiration from Jennifer's sketch today rather than actually following it closely. It just didn't suit my style, but I still wanted to create using this sketch, and you'll see how it definitely provided inspiration. So the first thing I'm doing is creating a diagonal line per the sketch really. Jennifer's got some mixed media going across slightly at an angle across her page. So I'm using 3 Distress Oxide inks. I started off with the green, which was pine needles. I've watered each one of them down, as you can see, using my mister bottle, and then used a large flat paintbrush to brush them diagonally across the page. So starting with pine needle, I then went on to the pink, which was what was it? I think it was, no, I'm going to have to find it. Sorry about that. I knew it would have driven me insane if I hadn't found it. It was Picked Raspberry, the second one. And then the third one is a new to me Distress Oxide in Stormy Sky. I needed a blue that was a bit more like Faded Jeans and Stormy Sky, so I went for Stormy Sky in the end. So watered them down, used the flat brush to brush them across the page, and you can see I overlap them ever so slightly across each other so that they fade into one another. And then I've used the same inks again to add splatters. I started adding tone on tone, and then I added some to the top left and bottom right, just to create a bit of interest. I then came in with my gold watercolour paint and added some splatters with that. So I left it to dry for a little bit, and then I grabbed my photo, which is of a Starbucks cup, and I'd cut that out using my infinity dies from Hero Arts, the circle infinity dies, and then I used a slightly larger circle to cut out a piece of craft card to map that onto. So the photo was printed 4x6, and the circle is more or less a 4-inch diameter. I then matted that onto some black with gold stars paper from the Vicki Boutin Bold Bright collection, and that's what how my photo is going to sit on the page. So as I mentioned, I've used Bold and Bright from Vicki Boutin. The colours just went really well with this Starbucks cup. So that's why I chose those colours of inks. I was trying to match the colours on the Starbucks cup as much as possible, and then brought in that blue just for a contrast really. I'm then coming in with my coffee rings stamp from Hey Little Magpie. This is one of our exclusive stamps, and I'm using the middle ring to add a couple of stamps, again using those same inks, so Picked Raspberry and pine needles for these. I'm then coming in with the larger ring and adding that in the pine needles, coming off the page on the left hand side and then coming off the page on the right hand side. First of all, I go into it with Picked Raspberry and add that in the centre, and then with the pine needles for the other two. So I'm not washing this, I'm just using my damp kitchen towel to wipe off the ink previously on there and then stamping in with another one. I think if I was using really pale colours like scatter straw or antique linen, I would take more care in washing them off, but because these are strong colours, it really didn't matter if there was a bit of residual colour on the stamp. So just the last stamp here now, and I'm only adding a little bit of ink because I know it's going to overlap onto my glass mat, so just happy with how that shows, and then that's where the photo is going to sit. So now I've got all of these circles that I'd cut out for a previous layout that I created, and I thought these would be perfect. So I'm still using inspiration from Jennifer's sketch using those circles, but rather than having the circles going around the focal point, I'm having them sort of scattered about the page in a diagonal really. So starting with these fussy cut circles, and I'm just going to distress each of them using my fingernails before I stick them down. And you can see again I've just focused in on the greens, pink and blues for this. Not too many blues because I really wanted the greens and pinks to stand out more than the blues. And then I'll just take my time ruffling up the edges. So this coffee cup was at a Starbucks in Coney Island. We got the train down from our hotel when we went for New Year, and we got there really early. I hadn't realised that the park didn't open till midday. So we had to walk along the boardwalk and had a scout about, and then decided that it was time for a loo break. So we found a coffee shop to have a coffee and a wee. and then the kids went on the cyclone roller coaster after that. So it was a welcome break, really, and it was a beautiful sunny day, so it was really nice. You can see the sun streaming in to the shop in the background, but we got a lovely corner sofa and just sat down, used the free Wi-Fi, just chilled for a little bit. So I'm just finishing off now, distressing all these edges on the circles before I come in with the other bits and pieces. So you can see on the right hand side of the sketch there, Jen has got a little cluster, and I'm going to use one of the stickers from the 6x12 sticker sheet to recreate that. I wanted to use elements from the sketch, but like I say, it wasn't really me, so I wanted to do it and do it justice, but make it my own layout. I think it's really important when you're working from sketches that the pages that you're creating are for your album, so you need to make sure that they work for you. So this is what I've done here. So almost there now with getting those circles down, just this last little one. And you can see I've fussy cut even the 1/2 and 1/4 pieces of circles, because you can always use them on the edges of piece or tuck them behind things, so it doesn't matter if they're not complete circles. So here's that 6x12 sticker sheet I was talking about, and I just saw this camera with live captured on it, and I thought that would be perfect to mimic that cluster that Jen's got going on the right hand side. So I've added that down, and then I've found one of the little gold hearts which I wanted to tuck in behind as well, and then I'm coming in with the foam alphabets from this collection, from the Bold and Bright Vicki Boutin collection from American Crafts, and I'm just spelling out coffee stop. Now I must admit I did want to put coffee break, but I realised that the word coffee used up my last 2 E's, so I was frantically trying to think while I was sticking them down what else I could use instead, and came up with coffee stop. So I added a hashtag at the front of that coffee. I don't know why, I just spotted it on the sticker sheet and thought that would be fun. And then I'm just going in with the 6x12 foam stickers now and adding some of the little circular elements on there. They're just little scattery pieces, some little circles with gold stars on, and there's a little black heart that I wanted to add there. And then I went back to the 6x12 sticker sheet because that had some lovely circular elements on as well. So just adding some of those beautiful gold. They're almost like an iridescent gold stickers, just for confetti pieces around the page. So I've added my journaling underneath the title there, and then I'm going to come in with my roller date stamp, just stamping that underneath the title. Normally I would use a tab on top of my photo, but because this is a circular photo, I decided that adding it underneath the journaling would be a better option. So I don't know why I wanted to bring in this green butterfly. I just spotted it on the sticker sheet and thought that would look nice. So I'm just bringing that up into the top right hand corner there. And then I'm going to come in with some sequins. I wanted to bring a little bit more black into the page. So first of all, some black sequins. I've just scattered some on my glass mat. I'm using my glue just to add dots about the page, and then I'm going to add these sequins onto those dots. So you can see here, and that's a very quick way of doing it. I normally position the sequins and then have to lift them off to add them back down onto the glue, but this time I decided to be brave and just add the glue straight away, and then I could add the dots of sequins. So now the sequins are on, I decide I want some smaller dots of black, so rather than using splatters, I'm going to use my Nouveau, I keep wanting to say Deluxe of Heath, it's Nouveau Crystal Drops, to add some dots around the page. Putting them fairly close to the sequins just to create a little bit more interest around there. And then when that's done, I remember my hole reinforcers that I'd pre-punched, so I'm going to add 5 of those about the page, and that finishes it off nicely. So please do check the description box down below to see everybody else who's joining in. There's a playlist, so you can just click on that and watch everybody else's videos to your heart's content. And other than that, I shall see you very soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.